it's amazing. And
Oh man!
I need to let you guys in on a little secret here. This is actually 3.2, version 3.2. Now, why is it version 3.2, you may ask? Well, because the recording device that I use to take my vocals...
Because computers suck.
Did not record properly. So, it is Sunday at 5:30 p.m., and we are recording. We recorded yesterday at Saturday around 1 p.m. So, 24 hours more have transpired since we last spoke. But you're getting this podcast now. I hope you guys enjoy it. So let me introduce you to
We're
myself.
that dedicated, just as an FYI. We're that dedicated.
My name's Joe, a.k.a. Ruffhouse Plays on Twitch. And I introduce my buddy over here, Justin, a.k.a. SJW, a.k.a. Shit Just Works, onto the pod.
Hey, yo, what up?
And I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, wherever you're listening, whether it's on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, or if you're watching us on YouTube. And please rate and review us on any of the podcast or YouTube channels that you see us on. And 5 stars would be much appreciated.
Only 5 stars. Nothing else is acceptable.
And we're not going to try to rush this, but we're probably going to move a little bit faster than we did in the first podcast. But I think we're going to get all of our information in that we want to. So we're going to start off.
In fact, there's going to be more information because of what we found out about the PlayStation. So you want to lead us into the PlayStation news?
Yeah, actually, that's a great segue to the fact that we found out that there is some information being leaked. Sources on 4chan anonymously have stated that there is a possibility that there will be an event on February 5th.
Same thing. You're close. You're only off by like 2 months.
A couple months. February 5th, in which they are going to be announcing the price point and possibly some features that will be on the PS5, which could include backwards compatibility and remote play. Now, the biggest news that we have to talk about here is that the rumored price is $4.99, which, if you listen to last week's podcast, I am predicting a $4.99 for the PlayStation 5, and I'm predicting probably 3 different types of Xboxes when they release their price points, and I think it's going to be $3.99, $4.99, $5.99.
And like I said in the first recording, anything is better than whatever the PlayStation 3 came out as. Which wait, we looked this up the first time. It was $699? No, $599. Was it $600 when it came out?
I think it was $599. Yep.
It was $599, but back then $599 was
$1,000.
Yes,
they had two different versions: $4.99, $5.99 version of it. And,
yes.
So that's going to be pretty big, and you found out just from searching the interwebs that they have pulled out of E3? Correct?
Yes, so as a podcast venturer here, I also listen to and frequent some of the other video game podcasts, and in my podcast travels, I found that E3 is not going to be having Sony this year. And Microsoft is still going, and I think there was some other people that actually pulled out of E3 as well. So E3, I guess over the last couple of years at least, has been kind of having an identity crisis. I guess Sony doesn't really agree with where E3 is headed. They want it to be more of a like celebrating the gamer type thing. Mm-hmm. And E3 wants to stay as the whole like, we have cool technology, we're gonna show you everything cool and make you buy it, like, you know, that type of thing. And Sony's not into it. So Microsoft now is like, you know, big men on campus. They are like the person at E3, and they'll probably, I don't know. I mean, that's probably is very good for them, but I don't know if that's really going to be the right move for Sony or not. So.
Okay, so just so you know, I'm just going to clap there. And the reason I just clapped was because my timer went off on my phone for some stuff. So you can edit that out, and you can edit this piece out of the thing. Sorry, to give you more edit work.
All right, shit. What was right before that? It was okay.
Yeah, you were talking about E3 and how it's going to be. I made a big clap so you can see the sound.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember where. Okay, like right before when that sound came on. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
So I really am not sure if this is the right move by Sony. You know, it gives Microsoft free reign of E3 to kind of show off and toot their own horn. And, Sony's not going to be now. There is going to be a lot of booths there, I imagine, with Sony stuff. I mean, you can't really get away truly from Sony. So I think that's probably what they're banking on. But I don't know, man. It just seems odd. But this news that we found on 4chan, it said February 5th, right?
Yes.
So February 5th is supposedly when the game is, or not the game, when they're going to have some info on the system. They're going to have their own event. What was it, New York City? So
yeah, I think they're like a Sony place.
Yeah, like a Sony store or something like that. So that might be kind of why they're releasing it with their own event as opposed to E3. Because E3, listen, when I was growing up, that's what I looked forward to every year, wondering if they were going to release a new console. Like literally every single year. And I would get my Game Informer, and Game Informer would have the whole coverage of E3, and there'd be like this 5-page long article on why the Xbox 360 is going to revolutionize the gaming industry and all that cool stuff. So it's kind of disappointing that E3 has turned into what it is now. But, things are changing. So, they are going to be at CES. There's probably going to be some other event that pops up as the next E3, so to speak. So I'm sure they'll figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think they'll be fine. This is not the first time a company has decided not to play their system.
Wasn't it EA? EA, didn't they leave?
I forget who it was, but someone decided not to go last year, and they were still fine. So they did their own thing.
Yeah, and as far as the price point is concerned, the PS3, like I said, it released at $600. Back then, that was like $300 above what people were expecting. Everybody expected $300 or so, and that's, I think, the 360. The 360 started at $400, didn't it? And then it went down. Yeah. And I think it went down to $300 pretty quickly. So
I think so. Yeah.
That was more the expected price point. So $600 blew it out of the water, and then PS3 kind of screwed itself, which is why it didn't sell that well. With this $600, I think everybody's expecting $500. So I think $600 would be what's acceptable, generally acceptable. So if it does come out at $499, that is perfectly fine. Honestly, I would expect $600 from Sony, but $500 would be amazing. And I will be definitely picking one up. I don't know, Joe, you said you wanted to wait a little bit.
So it depends on the finances. I'm going to put my eggs in the Xbox basket, and that's why. So I'm going to purchase that one first, and then if I have some extra cash, as they say, I will probably pick up a PS5 as well. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm going to try
to coming out around the same time. I wouldn't doubt that they come out within a week or two of each other. Yeah. So
they're both going to play the game of back and forth of like who's going to release first, and we're going to push up our date, we're going to push back our date. Like I get, because whoever releases first ultimately is going to have the advantage. So especially around the holiday season, unless it's too early, like if you release in like September, October, that might be too early. But once you get to November, the first person to release in November will have that little bit of an edge on the other person. So I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna kind of win that battle. I never really thought about that. So, But all right. So the next topic. What was it that you had found on?
Mortal Kombat 11. Well, this is more just for me than anything else. And like I said, in the podcasts that we talk about, that this is stuff that we think is interesting. If we find any big breaking news, we'll talk about it. But this is just stuff that we look up and go into and talk about. And the thing is, the Joker is being released. Early access is January 28th. That is if you pre-ordered the Combat Pack or bought a collector's edition that had it included. And then everyone will be able to play him in early February. I believe it's the first week of February. So it's basically just a week apart. You get to play him early access if you had pre-ordered it on January 28th. And then the next week you will be able to play him or purchase him if you didn't. So they did a stream, NetherRealm did, on their Twitch channel. And that was last Thursday. And they basically showed off the Joker, and he had some really cool fighting maneuvers and things like that. They really were able to take the essence of the Joker, bring him into the Mortal Kombat world, not make him feel out of place. And I'm excited for him just because he has so many cool things.
Yeah, and I'm pulling up the trailer. So for anybody watching the YouTube version of our podcast, the Vodcast, whoever came up with that term, honestly. They deserve a gold star. That's very good. But anyways, the trailer is pretty cool. I mean, it shows. Or you were saying. So I haven't played MK11, so I guess they have like weapons they can switch out, right?
So it's not weapons that they switch out. So each person or character has one type of like weaponish item that they can use, and basically you can change the look of it, and then from there you can attach statistics or stats to it, and it could come with certain like attributes to it. So
Okay.
they have like 3 different pieces per character that can be changed out, that aren't only just for visual effect. They also can put attributes on it as well. So
Okay, yeah, because I'm seeing like he used like a cane, and then he's got
Yep.
knives, and then I think one other thing, but one of his fate. I think it was a fate. No, it wasn't a fatality. I think it was just a move. One of his special moves is he makes a clone, bounds up his clone, and his clone starts hopping all bound up towards the enemy, and then his head explodes. So they definitely, I mean, like you said, they definitely. I'm gonna move the video over so people can see me. I was blocking my face with the video, and I think they did do a good job. My only thing is, and I don't know his face. His face does not remind me of literally any Joker that I've seen.
I don't
Period.
think it's supposed to. I think the whole point is that they're taking like a bunch of different Jokers and trying to make him his own version of himself for the Mortal Kombat series. If you've looked at different drawings, different comic books, different movies, no Joker is identical for the most part. So
Yeah, there's a million of them. Jesus, yeah.
So I think that's just another situation where they're like, okay, we're gonna make him his own, and I'm pretty partial to the Batman puppet attack that he has. So he's got a puppet that you can pull out that's basically Batman, and he fires a gun in his mouth. And apparently, if you hold it and you don't release the button, he'll actually have a conversation with the Batman puppet. So it is, it's pretty sweet. So
Great,
I'm
we're
looking
teaching
forward
people
to
at
that.
a young age to basically be insane. It's great.
So
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, and I hope all the viewers and listeners are also looking forward to playing the Joker coming up. It looks like this Tuesday. So
I think
hopefully when you're listening to this, you can play him.
So I think. Well, wait, this Tuesday?
Yeah, it's coming out on early access is January 28th.
Oh, the 28th. Okay.
Yeah, so
Sweet.
We're
Awesome.
recording on the 26th, so you'll probably be able to listen to this hopefully on the 27th or the 28th due to our delay. I don't know how fast we're going to be able to edit this up, but we're going to try to push it out for our normal time. If not, it might release on Tuesday, and if it does, it releases the same day that the Joker does. So you'll probably be listening to this, and if you had it pre-ordered, like I did, you'll be able to play him while you're listening to us.
Yeah, and the last Mortal Kombat that I bought, anyways, I think was for PS. I think it was Mortal Kombat 10, because this is I think it was for PS4. But I don't know. I've never been crazy about fighting games. I played a lot of Super Smash because my roommates that I used to live with in one of the old houses I was living at, they all were super good at Smash. They would go to tournaments and stuff like that. So, and speaking of that, all right. So I can't ask you to guess because unfortunately we already went over all of these figures on what games, on what fighting games are the best selling of all time. Yeah, whose fault is that, Ruff? Whose fault is that? Okay,
that's my fault. And it's sad too because the one thing that we try to do in this podcast and being a new podcast is to show our knowledge and to show that we know what we're talking about, and we're just not two guys that just decided to do a podcast about video games and know nothing about.
But aren't we though? But aren't we just two dudes doing a podcast?
So I was able to successfully answer his questions off my head.
Whoa! You did not get the best franchise ever.
Yeah,
you didn't.
Smash Brothers.
Yeah, no. But you guessed Street Fighter first.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay. Wait, are we gonna do this? We're gonna do this on the podcast. Are we gonna? You want to throw hands? Are we doing this?
Go back to the actual recording of you because you have your recording.
Yeah, that's right, people. That's because I can record things. I know how to record.
And 100% he's going to respond with, "Wow, you got it. It's Smash Brothers." We talked about Street Fighter. Yes, we did.
I don't know.
When you asked the question, I answered properly. It was Smash Brothers.
All right. Well, either way, and I'm going back to check that. By the way, I'm checking it. I'm checking
100% confident. And as a matter of fact, I want you to actually take that cut and then place it here, where you do not hear my answer, but you hear SJW's reaction.
All right, so
place it here. We are recording at around the 15:30 mark. Put it in.
Oh, I found it. We're terrible. We're so stupid. Dude. Yeah, there. Yep. We're so stupid. I got the software sales too. I can't. Wow. I feel bad. I feel like I don't deserve to be talking about video games right now. I feel so bad. That's not cool. Okay. All right. And then so for those of you listening on the podcast, that means you have to venture on over to YouTube and you'll see the final results of the edit after the fact. So we'll see who wins there. But anyways, let's get to the point, because this will actually be on the podcast now, of who is or what fighting franchise basically sold the most. So first there was the games. So we actually went through the games list first. So the number one selling game of all time, fighting wise, was Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Number two, with 15.72 million copies sold. Number two is Street Fighter 2. Number three is Super Smash for the 3DS and Wii U, which I still think is... I think you're right. I think it was just because everybody could play it, so they're just, it's on... The Wii is such a widespread popular system, they're like, screw it, let's buy it. Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which I thought would be the higher one on this list, was fourth with 13.3 million. Mortal Kombat 10 was 10.5 at number 5. And then Street Fighter 4... Tekken 3, Tekken 5, Super Smash Bros. Melee at number 9, and then the original OG MK at 6 million at number 10. So then franchises, we got Super Smash Bros., with which Ruff definitely did not guess. Tekken is number 2 with 47 total million. Super Smash Bros. Was 56.88 total million. And number 3, which we were both surprised about. Do you remember what number 3 was, Ruff?
All right, so it wasn't Dead or Alive, which is like one of the ones that you thought it was. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Soul Calibur. Gosh, and I got this right too, by the way, but it's like now I'm blanking on it. But if you want to go back to the tape,
I'll give you a hint. I was wearing during the last recording. I was wearing.
It was Dragon Ball. It was Dragon Ball. And you want to know what? And I'm gonna tell you. Play it back, SJW. I also answered that correctly, and I said,
"Oh, whoa! You're trying to say you guessed 2 of them? Oh man, you're setting yourself up for failure, dude.
Oh,
that's like
actually, as a matter of fact, I'm setting myself up for success."
Okay. All right. I'm gonna look it up now. I'm starting.
Now I'm gonna lean back and just take it all in as you listen to you listen to SJW's reaction to my answers.
Oh God. All right. And then number 4 all time was Street Fighter, and honestly. And technically, Mortal Kombat's tied with Street Fighter. They both sold 45 million copies, but they have Street Fighter listed as 4 and MK as 5. I am really surprised. Like, I would have figured MK and Tekken were swapped, and MK would have been 2, and Tekken would have been 5. And they're not. But what I will say, 2 through 5 is all within, 2 million copies.
Yeah, and I think it's a lot of the Asian influence with Tekken and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Dragon Ball.
Bandai, Namco, stuff like that. These guys, they create these games that, go through not just North America, but to Asia and places like that. And so there's a lot there that ends up, boosting the numbers, and Mortal Kombat is, an American-made game. And I don't think the fandom has as much of an impact in those countries that have a lot of people versus North America. So when you have Dragon Ball and you have Tekken being made by Japanese companies, there's already a huge following in countries that have way more population than North America does. So you're adding North America to the mix there, where with other games such as Mortal Kombat, the base is North America, and then you get what you get from Europe and Asia. So,
well, it's like I'm gonna look this up, but I'm gonna say it before I look it up. I'm pretty positive China's population is around like 2 billion, and America's like 400 million.
Yeah, no, China has the most people.
Oh no! All right, so China's at almost 1.4 billion, so I was a little high on that.
But it's still the most. It's still the most amount of people, in country wise. So
the U.S. is 327. Okay, so the U.S. actually hasn't really changed much recently. China, well, China's China. You know they get their problems with population. So, all right. So, and speaking of that, actually, before we forget, Kakarot is a thing. Yes. So, actually, no, you knew more about this than me. What was?
Well, it was just that it's on sale.
Something?
It's on sale right now. Hopefully, it will still be on sale when you listen to this podcast. You can get it for about $49.99 or $50 in most U.S. resellers like Target, Walmart, places like that. I don't think Amazon has it for $50, but I think. Yeah, actually they may, and it's
they do. Just looked it up. $49.94, $10 off,
and it's buy two get one free at most of those places. So you can buy a couple other games and get one free. So it's a
and I will actually put a link below in the description. So to the Amazon one. So if you guys want to, buy the Kakarot, definitely use the link in the description below in the YouTube video. And I think I could put it in the podcast video too. No, I don't know.
And the other thing too is I was watching it on Twitch, and I felt like everyone who was playing it had never watched Dragon Ball before because they were so surprised by everything. But I'll tell you something, it is super smooth animation. The game looks beautiful. If I have some discretionary income, I probably will pick it up too. So
using the big words, discretionary income. Hopefully actually, for gamers, I'm sure every gamer listening to this podcast is well aware of discretionary income. That's by definition, we have to deal with that on a daily basis. It's the ultimate gamer dilemma. All right. So that's it for fighting games. So we do have one other piece of news that we want to introduce, which is one of my favorite ones right now. And considering actually, so now that it's Sunday, I actually just placed 9th. I did my first Legends of Runeterra tournament earlier today. Yes, golf clap, golf clap, golf clap. So I placed 9th, used a completely crap deck, just, basically with cards that you start with. So I feel like I did pretty good. And I wanted to do that to see how far you can make it on like a budget deck, quote unquote. But with that said, that goes into the esports realm of discussion here. And one of the things that I found online that I wanted to bring up it was on The Verge, actually.
Yep.
And it had to do with Activision Blizzard and YouTube. And we all know Activision Blizzard. We know how big they are. And we know how big YouTube and Google are. And now they are, to use Joe's terminology on the last podcast, they're in bed with each other. And YouTube, so basically I'll just read the title. YouTube signs exclusive streaming deal for Activision Esports like Call of Duty and Overwatch. And I did clarify that does include Hearthstone. And I am also a Hearthstone player. So, mucho grande interesante is what I'd like to call that. And honestly, I mean, Call of Duty and Hearthstone are definitely in the top like 10 or 15 of competitive esports games. Call of Duty, I think, is in like the top 5. And Overwatch is also in the top 10. So, actually, Overwatch might have fallen back a little bit. I know it's definitely lost a little bit of popularity, but this is huge. There's been a lot of streamers that have been bought out by YouTube. Or not YouTube, by various places. By Google for YouTube gaming, Facebook for Facebook gaming, and Mixer for... so, we all know Mixer. Mixer, if you haven't heard by now, Ninja got bought out by Mixer. He used to be huge on Twitch. Now he is only on Mixer. You got somebody like Disguised Toast that is now on Facebook Gaming. Jesus, too many platforms now. And I think this article in particular mentions that Jack Courage Dunlop is now on YouTube Gaming. So it's just it's interesting what's happening in the esports world, in the esports industry now. And I don't know. I mean, what are your first thoughts about this whole deal with them getting into bed with each other?
I think it's just like anything else when you talk about corporations trying to battle each other. They're just trying to get unique content, exclusive content. It's no different than when PlayStation gets Square Enix to make the Final Fantasy games just for their stuff. You know what I mean? And
that's the only system it deserves to be on, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yo, all right, listen. Final Fantasy grew up on PlayStation. It should stay on PlayStation, okay?
So here's the thing. So now I'm getting a stress headache from this because Microsoft wasn't in the video game world back then, so that's not fair. Okay?
Oh, that is a good point. That is a fair point. Okay.
But I do have to say, I will be playing Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Xbox One. Or the Xbox.
You are such a disappointment to me. You're such a disappointment to me, Joe.
Do it. And I'm doing it just to get you angst up. I'm not. I feel like I
just got stabbed in the heart.
I can buy it on the PS4, but I'm gonna buy it on the Xbox just to.
Oh, you even have a PS? Oh God. Oh.
Yeah, I have the God of War edition.
Oh my God. Oh, really? That's a nice one too.
That's
wow,
you're one of the rarer ones apparently. What I was reading.
It is, yeah. You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me, Smalls. Ooh, speaking of rare, random side note, this thing. So, in the YouTube video, so I actually also went to a Hearthstone Fireside Gathering. They gave out these pins. I went yesterday, so that was also after we recorded. So much has happened in 24 hours since we first recorded this podcast. These pins apparently are a thing. Like people really love pins now. I guess pins are a collectible item, and pins like people put them on their hats and stuff. Yeah, what's that of?
Bob's Burgers.
Oh, you got a Bob's Burgers pin? That's way cooler than mine, man. All
right. That's from Loot Crate when I used to do some Loot Crate stuff. So yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, and I don't know. The pin definitely looks cool, but I didn't know there was like Pops, right? Every time I see a Pops, I'm like, holy crap! Like I got to get me some Pops. And you can see if you're watching the YouTube, you can see some in the background of Joe's recording studio. We'll call it here. Spider-Man pop. Yeah, if you guys don't know, Joe's favorite superhero is Spider-Man. He basically is Spider-Man. Like you should see Joe. He's like a reincarnation of Spider-Man. Well, you got enough Spider-Man stuff, dude.
Yeah. Dude.
Actually. Somebody actually hit me up on Instagram. He had a Spider-Man comic. He said he might actually, if he finds something, he lives around here, like in Rhode Island. He said he would mail it out if he finds something interesting Spider-Man wise. Cool. So I'm pulling for you, man. I'm pulling for you.
Thanks.
But so back to we always get sidetracked. Back to Call of Duty and Overwatch, and Activision. So just to clarify too, this does mean this is for esports. So I actually had made a comment to Joe when we were first talking about this, which was, what exactly, and I had to read into the article a little bit more. So it's just the major events. So like, world championships, pro league, stuff like that, tours, stuff like, but like Hearthstone as an example, basically all, like if I were to guess, and I haven't looked into this, but I have a feeling because I have been into Hearthstone for a pretty long time. Most of the views on Twitch for Hearthstone are competitive Hearthstone. Yeah. So that's when the views skyrocket, obviously in any game. But if there's no competition, or if there's no like big, high level tournament, Hearthstone doesn't have a whole lot of views. So I mean, Hearthstone for the most part, that might kill Hearthstone a little bit on Twitch. I honestly think so. Call of Duty and Overwatch they're so big that I don't think. I mean, people are still gonna stream it on Twitch. It's not a big deal. But I think this, on top of Mixer taking Ninja and Disguised Toast going to Facebook Gaming and all this other stuff, I think this is going to be the last thing to kind of start pushing the momentum towards other gaming platforms. Finally. Everybody thought it was Ninja, but nothing really happened after that. That was just like the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. I think now that so many chain events have happened, like think about it. Disguised Toast plays Hearthstone. He was the biggest Hearthstone streamer on Twitch. He's at Facebook Gaming, and now YouTube Gaming has a contract with Hearthstone. So literally all the primary Hearthstone streams are off of Twitch now, and that's huge. I mean, Hearthstone's a big competitive game. So it's interesting to see that. Now, we also brought this up. What are your thoughts on the fact that Blizzard does not have exactly the best reputation right now? I mean, and Google getting into bed with them still.
I think it's just like anything else. There's certain things, and Warcraft was probably the biggest one because that's what kind of spurred all this. Is that it was I believe, wasn't it a Warcraft tournament or something, or what was it?
Oh no, it was a Hearthstone.
No, it was
It was Hearthstone,
which is Warcraft. I mean, it's not. It's not actually.
It's based on World
like
of Warcraft.
it's based off of World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? They apologized. They made some statements about the situation. They're trying to rebuild their reputation, and so I don't think it's as big of an impact as you would think it is, because they did say, "Hey, we apologize. We rushed to judgment. We rushed out these sanctions we put on this player, etc., etc." And you can say it's because there was boycotting. You could say it's because they just realized it wasn't good PR, whatever the case may be. So I think they're rebuilding their reputation because they have some great games. Diablo 4 is definitely on the radar for both of us.
Oh, man. Cannot wait. Woo.
So, games like that, and, once World of Warcraft has another expansion, more people will come back to it just to level their characters up, and then probably walk away once the content gets stale, like it always does. So,
wait, you're saying that? Wait, back up. You're saying? Sorry, I was pulling up the Blizzard Wikipedia. You're saying the content gets stale for Diablo?
No, World of Warcraft.
Oh, World of Warcraft. Okay,
as an MMO, a game that you have to pay to play, I feel like it gets stale fast. I am one of those people who jump back on board when there's an expansion, play it for like 3 to 6 months, get bored of it, and then just walk away for a little bit. And that's just it. But
that says something about Diablo, I think, too. And you're right. I mean, Warcraft does get very stale. They release a new expansion, people beat all the side quests and stuff in it, and then they basically stop again. Diablo, like, even now, I've beaten Diablo 30 times over, leveling up my guy. I mean, I'm by no means a super duper like level 1000 monk or whatever, like Viper, like
Viper Voodoo 1 on Twitch.
Yeah. One of our friends on our streams, and he plays like religiously, but that's the thing. You could, for some reason, I don't know what it is about smashing buttons on your keyboard and blowing up demons in hell. Like, it's just never gets old. You could literally be doing the same thing, and you just are like in this trance that I'm just going to do this because it's fun. It's the same exact thing I already did 5,000 times, but all the shiny items that drop after I kill stuff, it's just so cool. And that's something that's hard to make a game like that. So I think Blizzard really has something with Diablo. So I hope they really expound upon that with Diablo 4. You were talking about hopefully PvP. I'm really hoping they have a PvP. They screwed up PvP in Diablo 3. So one of the other things that so again, we cannot quiz each other because this was also done in the first podcast, and we already know the answer. But actually, in reading their wiki, technically, so we want to go on technicalities here. So we did this on Saturday. It says, so Warcraft, Orcs and Humans was their first real-time strategy game. And you're right, it does say real-time strategy. I blanked listening to Joe the other day. So that was it looks like their first game, but it says they did some other random stuff like battle chess.
They did some other things, but I don't know if they were under the full name of Blizzard.
No, they weren't under Blizzard. So their first Blizzard, Oh, they changed their name by May 94, and then shortly after that, they released Warcraft. So prior to that, when they were whatever the heck, what'd you say their name was? It was Silicon and Synapse?
Something,
Does that sound right?
Something weird. Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it is, but yep.
It says it was founded by Michael Morhaime, Alan Adam, and Frank Pierce as Silicon and Synapse. Wow, they talk about Silicon Valley BS right there. That's exactly where that came from. And then they changed it to Blizzard in 1994 in May. So, and then that's when they became good. They got good. So, and then after that was what did we say? That was when Diablo came out, right?
And Diablo came out in 97 on the Windows platform, and then was ported to Mac and PlayStation, I believe, in 1998.
Okay.
So,
excuse the background music there. Somebody just peeled out in front of my house. So.
Oh wow. So
in front of the recording studio.
There you go. So I guess with that being said, that's all I have for today. You have anything else going on?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. Again, I am very, 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 very excited to see what happens in the esports realm over the next year. Like 2020 is going to be insane. Plus, you know, all this year we're going to be getting tidbits and inklings of news about Xbox and PlayStation, and we Ruffhouse and Shit Just Works are going to be here at Game Wild, giving you all the wild updates. See, I took a key from you. I'm using the wild word there. I got you. So yeah,
there it goes again.
I think this guy is purposely like he's spiting me right now. This is not cool. He just keeps doing it.
He has a small thingy.
Yeah. No, it's not a 10-foot lifted truck. It's just a car.
Well, on that note, guys, I think that's a perfect segue to end the podcast.
Oh, yes.
I'd like to thank, as always, everyone who's listened, everyone who's watching. We appreciate you guys. Once again, any type of positive rating you can give us at the 5-star level is perfect. Any review you can give us is also perfect. Catch me at Ruffhouse Plays on Twitch. And SJW, where can they catch you?
Freaking everywhere. Duh. Yeah, all the good spots. Twitch, Instagram, Twitter. You'll find me floating around somewhere. Hit me up. It's all Shit Just Works, either spelled with or without a C, due to multiple issues with registering my username. But if you give us a rating, whatever you do, I mean, we deserve a 5-star just on my Corona shirt alone. I mean, this is straight up like 40-year-old, you know, dad bod Corona shirt. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's a 5-star shirt. So come on. You gotta watch the YouTube video to really give us a true rating. So.
All right. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Later. Peace out.